Okay, YouTube, Trucker Todd here once again. I've been promising it for a couple of weeks now, and now it's time to review Roadrunner Freight. I've been there a little over 30 days, probably 5-6 weeks, and I just want to give you my first impressions about them and what I think so far. Let's get to the big bullet points first, the things everybody wants to know. Can you make money here? Yes. My largest check here so far has been, this is take home after truck payment, diesel, and everything. It was almost 3,500, 34 something for a week. Now you got to remember it was actually more than that. I think I had two advances on there of 150 each, so it was really about 3,800. That's take home. In the bank, like I say, my actual in the bank was just shy of 3,500. Now, have I had some weeks without any check? The answer is yes. As you know, if you've watched my other videos, I had 1 week where the truck was in the shop the entire week and I was in the hole that week. And then I had 1 week that I didn't get a great check. It was like $300 and something, but it's because the prior week was that week when I was in the shop. So I feel very comfortable saying you can make money here. They're not going to give it to you. You're going to have to work for it, and you're going to have to stay on top of them. But I wouldn't call it a scam here. If you've seen my earlier videos, you kind of know the story of what's gone on. If you hadn't, I can do a quick recap. I flew to Milwaukee. I was in a really nice hotel. Orientation ended up being about 2 days. The initial truck that I selected, when I got to putting my front license plate on, it was leaking diesel at the front cover. It was going to be a couple of days repair. And they were having to order parts, and so they allowed me to switch out of that truck into another one that I selected. I drove that truck. I went up to, I believe it was northern Wisconsin, and picked up an empty trailer, and then went down to Bolingbrook, Illinois, and took a load that was going out to California. I missed the cutoff for payroll that week because of that load. Cutoff for payroll is Sunday at midnight, and so I didn't get a check that first week because it went on to the next week. On the way to California, my air conditioner went out, and that was a whole fiasco. They put you with this guy, and I'm not going to call his name on here, that he kind of helps you get your feet wet, and he helps you with your first two loads. I had called him and told him, hey, I'm going to be in California. My air's gone out. I need to go to Texas. I need you to get me a load to Texas from California. No problem, Todd. I'm on it. Well, I got to California. Long story short, he dropped the ball, didn't get it done. So that delayed me getting my truck fixed a little longer. I could have got it done in California. The shops were going to take about a week before they could look at it. I decided not to wait, to get a Texas load and get it fixed while I was at home. I had just left orientation. I wasn't able to bring everything that I needed on the plane. So this would give me an opportunity to pick up what I needed to pick up at home and get the truck fixed at the same time. Well, the guy that I was just referring to that dropped the ball didn't get it done. So I was able to get a broker load that went to Dallas, and then a load from Dallas that went to Lubbock. I got the truck put in the shop. That's when I was down for a week. It was Labor Day weekend. And so that kind of hurt a little bit. First 3 weeks, or 2 to 3 weeks, let's say, they don't charge you a truck payment. And that's really when you need to be running hard and saving money. And because of that issue, I wasn't really ever able to do that. But anyway, the loads have been pretty good. Everybody badmouthed the broker loads. I've actually done more broker loads than I have terminal to terminal loads. And most of them pay pretty well. And even the terminal to terminal stuff, I would say most of the freight I've pulled's paid between $1.30 and $1.60 a mile. Which, before the naysayers get on here and say that's bad, there's a lot of you guys out there pulling freight for $1 a mile. So I don't consider it a bad rate. I have ran into a lot of people that weren't familiar with trucking. For example, they would call to pitch me a load. I'd say, how far is that? Oh, it's a 6-hour drive. Well, they're looking it up on Google Maps for cars. In a truck, it's a lot further than 6 hours. It's closer to 8.5. Especially when you figure in the deadhead or whatever the extenuating circumstances are. So now when they call me and present me with the load, if I'm not sure, I say, hang on, let me look that up, and I look it up. Google Maps is not a good source to look up trucking related information. It is a great source if you're in your family sedan going somewhere. So anyway, back to it. I've also ran into some organization issues, let's call it that, with this company. Now, in their defense, their system has been down for about 2 weeks now. They've had phone and computer issues, and this might not have been the case had their systems been working at 100%. Having said that, as recently as last night, I get a phone call like 10:30 at night. Todd, when are you going to pick this load up? Now, mind you, I'm at the Detroiter truck stop right outside of Detroit, Michigan, doing a 34-hour restart. But at 10:30 last night, I get a phone call. When are you going to pick that load up? I said, what load? I'm bobtail doing a 34-hour break. What load? That one that was going to Detroit. I said, I delivered that earlier this morning. Remember, I sent you a text message. Oh, you sure did. I forgot all about that. So not only had I already picked up the load, I had already delivered the load. I had already scanned the paperwork. Now, that would be one thing if it had only happened once. That's about the 4th time it's happened. At least once a week I've been called and asked, what trailer do I have? Have I picked up a load that I've already delivered? The most egregious example of this was when I went to Lubbock to get my truck work done. I delivered the load on a Sunday night, actually early, before the appointment time. The appointment time was like at 11 p.m. and I delivered it at like 8 p.m. and scanned the paperwork, went home. Now mind you, this Sunday night. Thursday afternoon, I get a phone call. Now, remember, Monday, I delivered Sunday. Monday is Labor Day, so I understand the first 2 days not them getting it, but Tuesday you figured I'd have got a call. Thursday they call me. Hey Todd, have you delivered that load yet? I said, yeah, remember I delivered it Sunday. Y'all gave me an EFS check for the lumper. I've already scanned the paperwork, everything. Oh, they didn't have a clue. They're like, what are you doing now? My truck's in the shop. Remember, I'm getting my truck fixed. Oh, so there has been a little bit of that. So long story short, can you make money here? Yes. Are you going to have to drag them at times? Yes. The equipment, it's had a few issues, but I don't blame them for that at all. It really is a good opportunity. They also offer some things that other companies don't. For lease purchase, they have 2 insurance options here if you want health insurance or dental or vision. Because of their systems being down, I haven't been able to delve into that and call the companies and talk to them about it. But they do have those options available, which is real unusual these days in a lease purchase situation. They do treat you like an owner-operator. They don't hold your hand. They don't baby you. And for this reason, I know they require experience to work here. I don't know how much, but I would say you would want at least 5 years experience before you jumped into it, because you need to understand freight lanes. You need to understand trucking from a different standpoint than what a lot of guys do. It's not just driving. You plan yourself, you pick your loads. And if that's not something you're accustomed to or know a lot about, it can bury you. One thing I have noticed, I've had an opportunity to talk to a lot of Roadrunner drivers, and I have yet to run across one that said this was a bad outfit. I've yet to run across one that said this was a dishonest outfit. And so that's nice. I've met a lot of people that's really happy here. And so that's reassuring too, especially being new. I myself, other than them being not the most organized company I've ever worked for, I don't really have anything bad to say about them per se. I hate their ELD, and I'm a guy that likes ELD. For those that don't know, that's the electronic logging device. That's your logbook. The system they use, the Rand McNally HD100, is not the greatest. I would much prefer Qualcomm or PeopleNet. It works off the Sprint network. There's a lot of times it does have no signal, even at the terminals, and it's just unusable. I find myself spending way more time using it than what I would on a normal system. It's also expensive. I will say that about Roadrunner too. Their deductions are expensive. Truck payment, all the insurances, all the deductions, they are expensive, but it's offset by the good rates that they're paying. Like I said, I'm averaging, when you fill in fuel surcharge and all of that, I'm averaging between $1.30 and $1.60 a mile on almost every load. So when you factor, and I'm running, because a lot of it's terminal to terminal and it's drop and hook, it's not hard to hit 3,000 miles a week. And so there is some opportunity here. And, you know, I know in my first video I was a little hard on them. I'd hoped some of the issues would go away over time, and they have. And so at this point, I can recommend Roadrunner Freight. I had a great recruiter that did a good job of getting me set up, answered my questions. I don't feel like he really lied to me about anything. There is some, you know, obviously in hindsight, there's some things I wish I would have asked and got clarification on. But overall, I'm very happy with my decision to come here. And in the comments below, or in the description below, I'm going to put my email address. If you'd like my recruiter's name to get more information, just drop me a message down there and I'll give you his contact information. And he can answer any questions that you might have. And I would encourage everybody, if you hadn't done it yet, like and subscribe. There's going to be more videos coming and more things for us to talk about. If you have questions that maybe I didn't answer for you or you'd like to know more about, leave me a message in the comments below or email me and I'll try to get you an answer for those questions. The trailer pool, basically you rent the trailer from them, and you do have the option to bring your own trailer, but then it kind of limits you on drop and hook. So for speed and convenience, I do recommend the trailer pool. It is expensive. Around, I want to say it's like $250 a week. So it is expensive. And the trailers that I've run across are not in great condition. They are DOT compliant. They would pass an inspection, but they're scratched up, dented up. Older trailers. For that amount of money, I'd like to see some nicer equipment as far as trailers go. Also, the terminals where you're swapping out need signage bad. A lot of times there's not a Roadrunner sign to be found, especially from the street. A lot of times you're getting there when it's dark, late at night or early in the morning, and it's almost impossible to find the locations. Then when you get in the parking lot, a lot of them have a very small sign. If the yard truck's parked in a bad place, sometimes you can't see the sign. The one I went to here in Detroit, well, it's actually Romulus, Michigan, right outside of Detroit. They said they had some lights out in the parking lot and it was really dark and hard to see. So I would like to see some improvements in those areas, but I think anybody that's been driving for any length of time realizes that there are no perfect companies. Each company has their good and bad, but I think with Roadrunner, the good outweighs the bad. And if you're looking for a trucking job right now, I would encourage you to give them some consideration. And like I said, if you'll message me, I'll give you my recruiter's contact information. You can talk to him. He can get your questions answered and go from there. And obviously, I would like you to mention that I referred you so that I can get the referral money off of that, and I can also stay in touch with you and offer you advice about kind of getting your feet wet here. But anyway, don't forget to like and subscribe like I mentioned earlier. Leave a comment below if you have any questions, or email me. And until next time, have a great day, and thanks for watching. Bye-bye.